Hello and welcome to an update from Curo Private Wealth. I'm Anne-Marie Laboe, Managing Director and Partner here in the Rockville office, and I'm here with my two colleagues, Ann McCabe out of Reston and Teresa Roberts, who also works here in the Rockville office with me. We wanted to take the time to give you an update on the firm and let you know that I have decided to retire at the end of September. It's been 33 years in the financial industry, and it has been a hell of a ride and something that I've enjoyed immensely, particularly getting to work with these two lovely ladies and with all of you, our clients. This was not an easy decision to make, but it seemed like it was the right time for me to step away and start to do some other things that I'm interested in, and probably more importantly, really spend time with my parents who are in their mid and late 80s. And with a couple of health issues that have come up, I want to have the opportunity to spend more time with them and with the rest of my family. So with that said, we wanted to talk about what that means for you, our clients, and what you can expect to see differently, and maybe what will actually continue to be the same. We're just going to kind of ask each other some questions and hopefully answer what would be top of mind for you. I think the first question that most people are going to be wondering is, if Anne-Marie is departing and you were my main point of contact, who am I now working with? So I thought maybe we'd start first with Anne and then to Teresa to tell you a little bit about their background so you can get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the financial services industry since 2001. I started on the banking side and then became licensed to become an advisor in 2005. So actually you'll find in a moment that Teresa and I have a lot in common because we both came from the banking side. We both got licensed in the same year and we're actually both from Georgia. So more on that in a moment. But I spent all of my career at large Wall Street firms, Wall Street style firms. And back in 2010, decided to go independent. So I left one of those large firms and started my own company. And then back in mid-2021, I sold my firm to Blue Spring Wealth Partners. And that's when I was introduced to these lovely ladies and when we merged our firms together. And that brings us to present day. So Teresa, I'd like to give a little bit of your background too.
Of course. So as Anne mentioned, I also started my career on the banking side, back actually working summers for Wachovia in college. In 2005, I became a licensed financial advisor with Merrill Lynch, where I spent a few years before deciding to leave the industry for a brief detour in nonprofit, and then found my way back into financial services through Bank of America here in this area, where I was presented with the opportunity to come and work for what was then Bernard Wolf and Associates, now Curo Private Wealth. And that's been almost 6 years ago. So it's been nice being back in the industry, having the opportunity to work with both of these ladies, with Anne-Marie for several years, and of course with Bernie before his retirement.
You know, I think it's important to point out, just based on a couple of things that you said, is Anne talked about selling her practice to Blue Spring Wealth Partners, which is an entity of Kester Financial, which many of you probably see on your statements, actually. I think it's important for people to understand that Bernie also sold his practice, which was Bernard Wolf and Associates, which of course was legacy to Curo, back actually in 2015. And I don't think everybody was aware that he had actually sold the practice at that point in time. So one of the things that Blue Spring does is they look for other financial advisor offices that they might want to purchase, and in some cases kind of bring together and merge. And that's really how we met, and Anne and I hit it off and eating outside during COVID.
Yeah.
And knew that we were very aligned in our vision, what was important to us, even our personal experiences. So it seemed like really a great fit. And speaking of Bernie, it's hard to do anything around here without bringing Bernie's name into it, because he was such a great leader and clearly the founder of the Rockville office. I do think it's important that people know that he actually handpicked Teresa out of the bank. I think what you said, I think you were his banker, right?
Yes, Bernie was my client at the bank and came into my office one day and asked me if I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
To which I reminded him that he was at my job.
Yeah.
But then a few short weeks later, I made the transition.
Yeah, I can actually remember him coming into the office with your car. He's like, I met this great woman. We've got to interview her. And it, by far, the best and easiest interview I think I've ever done, where as soon as she walked out the door, we're like, yes. And
no
when
questions.
can she start?
Thank you.
And it's been a great partnership ever since.
So I think another question that probably is top of mind for clients at Teresa is, now that Anne-Marie is retiring, who is going to be our clients, our Rockville clients, financial advisor moving forward?
Right. So for most of you, you will work with me primarily as your main point of contact, given, of course, my experience here with the Legacy Rockville office and also with my knowledge of each of you and your portfolios. But it is important to note that I, of course, will not be serving you alone. I will, of course, be partnering with Anne, who will be assisting each of you in our relationships, maybe sometimes behind the scenes, maybe sometimes face-to-face in meetings. But just know that we are always managing your relationship as a team. And we have been building a great team of people behind us who support us in what we do for each and every one of you. So you should have also received a contact sheet introducing many of those team members to you, so you know exactly who to call. But for your advisor, lead main point of contact, it will be me most days. You're stuck with me.
Lucky you.
But we will be working together in all of those relationships. And Anne brings a wealth of financial planning and investment knowledge, which I'm excited to work with her and learn more from her, as I've done with Anne-Marie over the last several years.
And I would be remiss to not say just how integral Teresa's been over the last couple of years, particularly since Bernie retired, and really being my right hand. And the only reason why a lot of clients maybe didn't see her in on all the meetings is that we just had so much going on and so much to do. She was with me every step of the way, decisions on investments and financial planning and so on. I just got to be the one that got to deliver the information. So she has been as much a lead advisor in all of our clients over the last couple of years as I have been.
Yeah.
So I can't thank you enough, because I could not have done it without her.
I also think it's important to mention, Teresa, that you were already in the process of moving into a lead advisor position. And now you'll be COO, so you'll still have a hand in operations and making sure that operations continue to go smoothly, just because you do have a vast amount of knowledge and experience. But this transition had already started to occur before Anne-Marie made her decision to retire. So I just think that's an important point as well.
And I don't know if we made that point, right? So going forward, Anne McCabe, you'll be the CEO of Curo Private Wealth, and Teresa will be the COO.
Right.
Going forward.
But we are also continuing to build the team that Teresa mentioned. We've been working very hard over the past couple of years to build. So we are actively looking for another advisor as we speak. So if you know anyone who would be a good fit, send them our way.
Absolutely.
So many of you may have questions now about how investment decisions will be made going forward. And I think, Anne, if you would like to share a little bit about our process, I think that might be helpful.
Absolutely. So I think it's important to mention that we have been making investment decisions as a team for many, many years. So as you'll notice, this will come up a lot in our conversation today. We absolutely believe in a team approach, and that's for really everything across the board, including investments. But we did formally establish an investment committee to have a bit more structure, cadence around regular meetings. So we are now meeting on a regular basis as an investment committee. And we talk about things like what's going on in the markets, where are we in the economic cycle, should we be making changes to portfolios, of course keeping in mind our individual clients' goals and time horizons and comfort level with volatility. We're also talking about current topics that may be market moving, like the debt ceiling debates that are going on right now. And just to give you an example, outside of our regular investment committee meetings, we are also always talking about positioning and what's going on in the market. So to give you an example, recently we decided, with the S&P 500 in particular up substantially this year, that we would look at all of our clients' accounts who pull distributions, whether that's required minimum distributions or just pulling income off of their portfolio, and make sure that they have plenty of cash, and if not, raise cash now sort of tactically as a result of what's going on in the market. So we're always looking at portfolios, looking at what's going on in the markets and in the economy. But again, we're excited to have a more formal investment committee, and that's how we will be making decisions moving forward as well.
I'll just make a comment on the investment side too. While we have built the team internally and we rely on each other and our own individual opinions, we do actually lean on the intellectual capital of a lot of firms that we do business with, that we have relationships with. BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the Kester Investment Management team, which coincidentally came from Goldman Sachs for the most part. So we not only do use our own team, but we really rely on a lot of other people because there's just so much to know about the markets, and we'll take all the resources we can get to make sure that those decisions are the best for our clients. We talked about the time spent on investments, and I don't think we can express enough how much work has been going on behind the scenes since Ann and I met 2.5 years ago. And all the work that we've been doing, which really has allowed me to make this decision and make it comfortably and know that the firm is in the right hands and the clients are going to be taken care of. So, one of the things that we've also done is spend a lot of time on how we serve our clients, what our clients can expect from us. And so, Teresa, why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I do think people are going to say, okay, who do I talk to? But now, how often am I going to see you? And how often can I call or so on?
Right. So it is our goal that this transition feel as seamless to each of you as possible. We know there's been a lot of transition over the last several years, but we never want to deviate from the level of service that we've always provided to each and every one of you. So it is my hope and our mission that your interaction with our firm does not change in so much of how often you hear from us. So you will absolutely still have at least an annual review with an advisor, whether that's with me or with me and Ann together going forward. And then we're also available, as we have been, for any of your questions in between those meetings. Of course, meetings may be more frequent depending on your life phase or things that are happening in your life, but we want to act like any other professional in your life, like your attorneys or your CPAs, and we're on call. We want to be consultants for each of you and know that even going forward after Anne-Marie's transition out of the practice, that you can still call us to hold your hand and to walk you through those questions and to make you feel extremely confident about making those decisions that are important to the finances in your life.
What can people expect operationally? Because I do think that's going to be a big question. Is, are you going to inundate me with, do I have to sign all these forms? And are there any of those types of things that we can anticipate coming, from us?
As many of you know, we work in a very highly regulated industry. So while we are managing things as a team, there are specifics, right, that have to be done and signed off on to let the industry know who is working as your advisors. So many of you may have already experienced this after Bernie's retirement, but there may be some paperwork required that you will have to sign off on to acknowledge that we are transferring accounts. But we are partnering with both Kestra Investment Services as our back office support and with Blue Spring to try to do as much of it as we can to alleviate you of any extra paperwork. But I would be remiss in not telling you that there will be forms that you will have to sign, but we will do our best to make it as easy for you to get it done as possible. Another change that you will most likely notice is whose names appear on your account. So right now, if you were to read your account statements, you would see Anne-Marie Laboe as your advisor. Going forward, after transferring those accounts, you will now see both my name and Ann on your statements for all of your accounts, because we think it is best that we service your accounts together. It allows us to support one another in the things that we do for our clients and to be able to sign off and complete requests for any of you in case either of us is unavailable.
As clients, and I think you get asked the question, who's my advisor and what do they do for you kind of thing. I think it's a great message, and Ann, I'll let you take this because we have been working so hard on developing this vision and where it's going, and I'm so excited for the future. But if you had to tell someone who is Curo Private Wealth, what do they do for me? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'd like to answer that in a moment, but first start by thanking you, Anne-Marie, for your partnership and your friendship over the past couple of years. It's been an amazing merger. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work, the three of us really.
Yeah.
But I'd also really like to thank you for being generous enough to not just decide that you were ready to retire and drop the mic and walk out. She has graciously agreed to stay until the end of September. And that's really, obviously for our team to make sure we have everything in place, but also a testament to how much she cares about each and every one of you to make sure that this transition is as successful, seamless, and fulfilling for everyone involved as possible. So I just want to publicly thank you for that. You didn't have to do that, and we are both very grateful. Extremely grateful that you did, because it really lets us do this the right way, and that's really
It's always
important.
my goal in making the decision.
Exactly. So just wanted to thank you for that. But back to Curo. So for those of you who don't know, maybe Curo is Latin for to care. And so I think the first way I'd like to answer that question is by saying that every interaction that we have with you all and every relationship we have with you all, we approach that in a caring and in an authentic way. So we are absolutely committed to building long-term, ideally multi-generational relationships with you all. We, as we've mentioned before, believe in a team approach. We believe that the more eyes looking at your financial position, your goals, the things that keep you up at night, the more ideas we're going to be able to have to bring to the table for you. And we also absolutely believe that financial planning should be at the center of everything we do for clients. Now, I realize that not all of you have engaged with us in financial planning in the past. And so today we'd like to invite you to engage with us in that capacity. If you're interested or if you think that would be valuable to you, please reach out and we will chat more about what that looks like. But we absolutely believe that in order for us to give you the best advice and the best guidance possible, we need to know what's important to you. What does your holistic financial position look like, so that we can give you that advice. And at the end of the day, our mission is to help you and anybody else we work with to make strategic and smart decisions so that you can live the lives that you've envisioned for yourselves and for your families. So that is what we are all about here at Curo.
And we are very proud of what makes us different in this industry as a woman-led firm, and the diversity of the team that we're developing here. We think that gives us a specific vision and method to the way that your financial lives should be handled. And we want to bring that difference, that diversity of thought, that unique perspective to each and every one of you in the service that we deliver as well.
It's a bittersweet feeling because we're sad to see Anne-Marie go, and she's going to be missed. And we're also...
I'll be swimming by.
Yeah. We're going to be knocking on her door. But we're excited for where we are and all the hard work that's been going on behind the scenes over the past couple of years and where we're going in the future. And at the end of the day, we're all very aware that what we do is help people. And so the more people we can help, the better and bigger impact we can make on our community and on our clients.
And I too want to take the time to thank Anne-Marie personally. This is very bittersweet for me, as Anne-Marie has been here for as long as I have with me through this journey, but I am extremely grateful for your support of me and my career and how you have pushed me forward in this business. I've been re-energized in my passion for the work that we do. And as we talked about, it's been happening behind the scenes. I've started almost finishing now, the education requirements for a certified financial planning designation, which I will sit for the exam in November. As I develop and become better for each and every one of you. But thank you so much for your support of that. And
She's trying to make me cry. Is what she's trying to do.
and while it is bittersweet for me, I am proud that you feel safe to leave the legacy of this practice to me and to Anne, but then also very excited for you in the next chapter of your life and what that brings.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
We'll be communicating with you on a regular basis, what changes you can expect and so on. But you can also find a lot of information about our firm, and Anne's the social media guru. So Anne, why don't you tell them what they
Far
can
from
find
the
us?
social media guru.
Certainly not me, that's for sure.
So, well, first of all, we do send out a monthly newsletter. You should already be receiving that. We have been sending that out consistently monthly for a while now. So if you're not receiving that, please reach out to our office and we will make sure you are added to that list. But we try very hard to make that newsletter be filled with interesting information. Sometimes it's market commentary. Sometimes it's interesting things we're doing as a team, great articles, timely information. If you have any feedback on that newsletter for us, please let us know. It's for you, so we want to make sure that it's as valuable and informational for you as possible and informative for you as possible. But we are also on social media, and I would say we probably post on social media 3 to maybe 4 times a week. So we are posting quite frequently. So pick your favorite channel: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're not on TikTok, and we're not planning on being on TikTok, so don't look for us there. But the other social media platforms we are on. So please subscribe. We're also on YouTube, so subscribe and like our pages so you can get updated on any content.
And share it with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess maybe I'll close it out and just say thank you to these 2 wonderful ladies that I have had the privilege of being a colleague and a friend, and I said I wasn't going to cry, and I'm not. But really, I want to thank clients too. It's been such a privilege and a pleasure working with each of you, getting to know you and your families, helping you find solutions, celebrating the wins that we've had within your families, and being with you during the tough times. So again, I can't thank you enough. It's been an incredible 33 years in this industry, but I believe wholeheartedly that you are with the right firm, you are with the right people, you are with 2 amazing, intelligent, capable, strong women who I think are going to just knock the lights out in this industry, and I cannot wait to see where this firm goes. So thank you for your time and for the privilege of serving you.
Thank you.
Bye.